Let's go.
Welcome to The Integrative Edge, your go-to podcast for fresh perspectives on holistic health and functional movement. Join us as we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably.
I'm Kelly Demers, founder of the Integrative Wellness Coalition and the owner of True North Performance.
I'm Lindsay Seefeld, doctor of physical therapy and owner and operator of Uplifted Oncology Rehab.
I'm Dr. Kimberly Klimek, licensed pharmacist and owner of Innate Healing and Performance.
You can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Welcome back to the Integrative Edge, where we explore innovative ways to optimize your health naturally and sustainably. I am Kelly Demers. As always, I am here with my amazing co-host, Dr. Lindsay Seefeld and Dr. Kim Klimek. Today, we are diving into a topic that I think resonates with so many people, and that is how to build and maintain healthy habits when life feels like an endless to-do list. Between work and family commitments and all of the daily responsibilities, it can feel impossible sometimes to prioritize your health. But the reality is, and this is so cliche, but the reality is if we don't make time for our health now, we're going to be forced to make time for our illness later. So today we're going to talk about creative strategies, how to tackle how to tackle and create lasting habits, develop a resilient mindset, and even bring the whole family into the process without adding more stress to an already full plate. And I think that's the important piece. We're going to give you strategies that shouldn't feel like an additional thing on your list. So let's get into it. Let's start with this. Why do so many people struggle to maintain healthy habits? You know, I look at this and I think most of us have really good intentions, right? We want to be healthy. We know that we should eat well. We know that we should manage our stress, move our bodies. But when life gets busy, those habits seem like they're the first to go always. So what's going on there?
I think we all wear so many hats. You know, a mother of four, you know, I've got a job, a career, you know, I've got kids activities. I'm like here and there and everywhere. And it's hard to find the time. I know we've all heard that. It's hard to find the time to commit to this, but it's so important to get that routine.
Mm-hmm. I would say for sure it's that a lot of people are trying to go from like 0 to 100, like just like that in the snap of a finger. And I would say, like, how about we just focus on some micro habits first, right? Like you don't have to go from doing a whole Ironman. Like, why don't you just start with, maybe like 15, 20 minutes of exercise 3 times a week or something. Like start with that to begin with and get that in a routine down first before you can commit to, some of these bigger tasks and the goals. Like, cause there's so much to be said with the micro habits that you create in your daily routine that actually allow you to build into more of the sustainable habits. So it's like, it is that 5-minute mindfulness, little meditation video or whatever in the morning. It is that 10-minute walk between, 10-minute walk after lunch or between, meetings or things like that actually does build into longer sustainable habits. And just like, having actual like healthy grab and go snacks or preparing things in advance, like we'll dive into that a little bit deeper for sure. But for me, it's definitely the micro habits.
Right. One of the things that I see is people waiting for the perfect time to start. It is when the kids are out of school, this is a busy time of work. When the kids are, it's summer now. So when the kids are back in school, now it's the holidays. And the year goes by, right? There's never going to be a perfect time to start. So the idea of this podcast is really to give you strategies on how to start developing those habits in the middle of real life, not when it's convenient, because there is never going to be a perfect time. So let's shift. Well, first of all, we know that, and Kim, you hit on this a little bit, you don't have to overhaul everything all at once. Little steps, packing healthy snacks, a little planning ahead. Those can be very powerful things. Adding 5 minutes of movement into your day instead of planning an hour and then feeling disappointed that you didn't hit your goal. As we look to mindset, Lindsay, you hit on this already. I think we underestimate the power that mindset has in building our habits. A lot of times we can say, I don't have time. and we've already lost. And so we're really focused on really constantly telling ourselves that we don't have time, we're going to fail anyways. We've already lost before we've started. The other thing that I would say as far as tips is to give yourself a little grace. You're going to have off days. You're going to eat the cookies. You're going to miss a workout. That doesn't mean that you've failed. It just means that you have to pick up the next day. Healthy isn't about perfection. It is about consistency over time. Lindsay, you talked about having 4 kids. So how do you make healthy habits a family affair?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, talking about like the nutrition, maybe we'll jump into that first. You know, I prioritize myself with having like healthy snacks in the house. So, you know, kids come home from school, what's the first thing they do? They grab snacks. So I try to prioritize and, you know, try to pick out different things that are healthier choices for my kids to have when they come home after school. And I think meal prep is so incredibly huge. So as I had mentioned, you know, with 4 kids, I can tell you we're busy like every night of the week practically. And so I have to be very mindful of like what we're going to be doing. Like I set up like almost like a meal plan for the week. And the nice thing is my husband's on board too. So we literally, my husband and I have set days of the week that we cook. So it's fantastic. I don't cook Mondays and I don't cook Wednesdays.
It's awesome.
And so I think that's helpful in planning too, because I know, okay, I've got my set Tuesdays, Thursdays. I can pre-plan what I want to cook those days. And so, you know, then you do your shopping, you know, ahead of time so you know what you're going to cook. And obviously with events, you know, like, okay, this night we're at the ball field, so we're going to have to maybe plan like a crock pot meal or something like that. Right. But I think it's important to try to be mindful and establish what you're going to eat, because we're so much in this lifestyle of kind of grab and go. It's so easy to do that, but I mean, that's not healthy, right? And you're setting your kids up for not success when you're constantly just grabbing and going. You know, I like to, and we're a traditional family, we sit down for meals. So I think that in itself, and I know we talked about an episode about this, like being mindful when you're eating, sitting down as a family and slowly enjoying what you're doing. You know, food is enjoyable, right? And then having the company and the family. So, and then involving your children, I think too, in the cooking process. You know, my kids love to help out, which teaches them too, you know, just like how to cook and what we're cooking, and even like shopping wise, like I'll have my kids, you know, help. Okay, let's pick out a vegetable.
Right.
You know, what do you want to eat for dinner, you know, on Tuesday night for a vegetable? And so just, I think instilling these little things in our children at such a young age is so important, because it's going to set them up for success when they're older.
I think you hit on such a great point. A big piece of this, if you are a mom or a dad, is modeling the behavior. My mom told me once, if you ever want to see how you act, watch your kids play. Because somebody will play the mom and somebody will play the dad, and it's unbelievable, right? So if your kids, the reason I share that is because if your kids see you prioritizing movement and eating well and taking the time to take care of yourself, they're more likely to do the same. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? We can take family walks after dinner, cooking meals together. I know, Lindsay, you just had hit on that. Turning off screens, playing outside. Those small little moments really add up to something pretty incredible. Let's get super practical for a minute. We know life gets busy, but what are some real world strategies that people can use to make health a top priority without adding more stress?
For me, I really such a like center point for wellness really for me, and like staying on track, because it can be such like a mind shift, is just actually keeping your blood sugar balanced like throughout the day. And for me, I don't know, it's just like so much. You can just hear it time and time over again, because you're going to actually make worse choices for yourself if you are on like a little sugar crash, or you're lethargic, or you're tired, or you're on the go. So for me, like the stable blood sugar really does support your energy, your mood, and your focus, helps you avoid crashes. So We could talk to you blue in the face probably about just making sure that you actually have enough protein in your day, and especially for the women out there. I know you're wearing all the hats. I know you're doing everything. You're running from this to that. You have the kids and the work, and you're trying to fit in your own self-care and the exercise and all the wellness routines. But simplicity-wise, set yourself up for success by at least prioritizing your nutrition with the stable blood sugar support strategies that we've given. And I know we had a whole episode on it, but for me, like my husband calls me like the snack lady. Like I do have like a giant purse, but I carry with me in preparation like higher protein snacks, just so I don't have those crashes, even if I do have a busy day, because that's the one thing that will literally set me up for success. I have like the nuts, a beef stick, maybe I bring a string cheese, an apple, because I always kind of dress my carbs, but it's just like such a critical point that really can't go unspoken about, that how it sets you up for success during a chaotic like day or chaotic week or whatever.
Right, and I think what you hit on was important. The fact that the things that you listed, the beef stick, the yogurt, an apple, whatever it is, those aren't prep items. Mm-hmm. Those are just grab and go items. You can just as easily grab a bag of Cheetos. Again, model the behavior that you want to see. Grab the apple instead of the bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, I think, I want to talk about like what I do too for we have to keep our body moving. Like that's just the core of, like just being healthy, right? We got to find time to keep our body moving and healthy. And what I do, and I've been doing this for years, is, every week I print out a sheet of paper. So like, schedule like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with the times. And I literally will write down like blocks of time, like, okay, this is when I'm working. This is my lunch break. This is what sporting events that I have in the evening. I literally will plan my week like, okay, where do I have chunks that I can exercise? Or, even if it's just like, okay, like this day is absolutely packed. Okay, I can for sure do like my 15-minute walk on my lunch break. So you'd be surprised if you actually write out your schedule, like you will find chunks of time in your day. And
that's a great point.
And it's got to be a priority. And for me, it's just non-negotiable. Like I have to find something to keep my body moving that day. And I'm telling you, like I've learned myself, like at the end of the day, it does not work. Like that's the last thing I want to do is exercise.
Right.
Because I know I'm going to be coming home to chaos. And so my day, I'm like, okay, I either have to set my day up in the morning with my exercise routine, or I have to find a chunk of time during the day to do it. So I think, to really get like health is a priority for you, I think that's a really good strategy. And I've been doing this for years, is like every week I've got my block schedule and I know where I can kind of sneak things in.
And as simple as that sounds, right? Like, okay, no matter what it is, whether it's exercise or this is the block of time, like actually just physically putting it on your calendar or writing it out something will actually, help you be able to carry that action out or follow through with it versus just like, oh, I just have it in my head today that like I'm gonna exercise 30 minutes whenever I can kind of thing. Like you're gonna be more prone to actually doing it if you put it on your schedule. That's just something that made a world of difference for me. Like when I started doing those things with my schedule, I'm like, oh, nope, I scheduled time to do this.
For sure.
Yeah, it's like an appointment. Right. Like it's an appointment.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good way to think
set yourself up for success is absolutely schedule the time. I look at my week ahead and know that, okay, I prefer working out in the morning. Doesn't always happen. It happens about 50% of the time, right? Because life is messy, life gets in the way. So I'll plan those blocks of time, and sometimes it's at night. And it's, again, not my ideal, but it is something that if this is a priority, this is what needs to be done. Putting it down means you're much more likely to follow through on that. I love the idea of planning ahead, prepping meals. We were just joking about this earlier. I don't love cooking. I never liked it. So meal prep for me on the week, the rules are 5 ingredients or less, 30 minutes or less. I'm in, I'm out. I've been posting it on Instagram stories just to give people an idea, like you don't have to overcomplicate this. Really, it can be very simple to do, but that is something that has helped. Habit stacking is another one. So if you are new to starting to incorporate healthy habits, what's one thing that you do now that you can add to it? So for example, if your goal is to be healthier, I'm going to drink more water today. This is always my go-to because I'm not people sometimes will be natural water drinkers and they're like, I drink a gallon every day. I don't, it's amazing how little water I think I need during the day. But for me, I drink coffee every day. I never forget that. So I know that when I make coffee, I have to fill my water bottle. And so that has been a really helpful thing. So habit stacking is a great way to pair a new habit with a current habit and building healthy routines from there.
I like that too. That just kind of like triggered me a little bit. Like put it in front of your face, right? Like you have to go to the kitchen to make your coffee. So you got your water bottle right there and you're going to fill your water bottle. For like me, it's like when I do my like daily magnesium, that's like the same process. Like I'm like, first thing I do in the morning, I put an empty glass there. I fill it up with water, little lemon, and then I take my magnesium like right away in the morning. And then I'll start to like make my breakfast and coffee. But I also have my empty water bottle, and that is like clockwork. The very first thing that I do every morning, because I could visibly see the things out on my counter. I'm like, oh, that's my little cue and my reminder that I'm doing this. I'm putting my electrolytes in my water and whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Setting things out the night before is a great way. Throwing your workout bag in front of the door that's already packed and ready to go. I mean, so sometimes it's the setting up of going to work out that's actually harder than the workout sometimes. So having that ready to go is just grab it and you're out the door. What are some other ways that we could incorporate building healthy habits if you have a family? So maybe it's getting them, you had talked about meal prep. Are there some other things?
Yeah, I think sleep is an important topic. We're very structured with our sleep, habits in my family. I'm very strict on my kids go to bed at this certain time every night. And so my kids, we all have that routine. Like, okay, it's time to get ready for bed. So we get the pajamas on, we brush our teeth. We always read before bed. So we grab a book that they had at school, or, my kids are reading a chapter book. So my kids know that general routine at night. And, this is setting them up for success in the future because, I'm, as myself an adult, we talked about sleep. We had an episode about sleep in the past. And, it's all about setting up that routine. And I have a very specific routine before I go to bed as well. And it's just, you have to, that's the foundation of health, sleep. And, having my kids have that established routine, it's just, I've worked with patients, or I have family members that just the kids will just go to bed whenever at nighttime and don't take a nap during the day. And it just throws them off. And my kids have always had a set routine, and it just helps.
Yeah, I would say even with, because I don't have children or anything yet, but just prioritizing our time as a couple is just kind of designating some of those times. For us, it's it's going to be the dinner time, and we're going to have a tech-free dinner, no cell phones. Lately I've been doing a lot of turning off notifications, do not disturb, because that's my time with my significant other or my friends or whatever I'm doing. And I started doing that with my workouts now even too, because I don't want to get disrupted or distracted. I don't want the buzzing. We all got, the watches, right? And they buzz when you get the texts. And I was telling my coaches even hey man, this is a distraction for me. That's on me. I need to turn my phone on silent because that's my time. And so I'm going to start doing that kind of thing. And I've kind of incorporated some of those small habits with the things I'm doing with my partner. And, one of those things was even just actually taking a vacation for ourselves, because we didn't even do that. I mean, we were married for 2 years, and we just got back from our honeymoon, and I was like, man, this was great. I just needed a whole reset. But it was actually taking that time for ourselves, and we both agreed upon it and that we were going to do it together. So whether that time frame, whatever you have in your day, 15, 20 minutes is still better than nothing sometimes.
Right. I think for a lot of us, taking care of other people and setting us second, not taking care of ourselves has in some people is a badge of honor. I can't do it. I have to help this person, or I have to do this, and I have to do this. And constantly they're putting themselves lower and lower on the totem pole. The saying that I talk about in here is setting yourself on fire to keep others warm isn't a sustainable practice, right? Mm-hmm. You can only do that so many times before there's nothing left of you. And then what happens to those people that need you? You're not going to be around, or you're not going to be fully present for for the ones that need you the most.
Yeah, you definitely have to fill your cup first before you can help other people. So I mean, I've been on that wagon where you're helping everybody else and you get burnt out very quickly. And, once you make certain things a priority, like this is non-negotiable in my case, I'm a better mom. I'm a better, person. I'm a better therapist for my patients. So I think it's super important to fill your cup and do things that light you on fire. And then, it just makes life so much more enjoyable.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. We need to get past that barrier of guilt that we're a bad person if we don't respond to somebody within 5 minutes.
Right away.
Like we just live in this world where everybody's so accessible, right? Yeah. Within a second that if you don't respond to me within 30 seconds of this text, like that's just not the way we were meant to operate. And so it's okay to give yourself grace, set the boundaries, and, go from there.
Yeah. And I think it's okay to say no. I like to point that out there too, because I mean, my children, my husband and I have, set like, okay, we can't be involved with everything. They can't be involved in every single, sport or event that school has. We have to set what's going to work for our family, right? Like there's certain things, like weekends are our family time. I don't want to be, running here and there, like vacations too. Like this is our priority. Our family's our priority. And, like when we set up things for our family, we try to be strict with that and try not to be involved with everything because it can get very overwhelming.
For sure. I love that that the three of us are the ones giving the advice, because sometimes you hear practical tips and strategies from a 20-something that is, working part-time or, it's not. The ground game is terrible, right? They just don't have that life experience. I think as we look to this, there's a saying that says, grace glides on blistered feet. And I've loved that saying every time, because I think you do have to kind of earn your calluses and learning what works for you, what works for your family. We all have family commitments, work commitments, daily responsibilities. We are all business owners. And that really, it takes time. It takes more time than we think, and all of us have found ways to incorporate living healthy habits into everyday life. So if we were to look at closing thoughts, takeaways, things that we can do, let's recap. And the first thing I want to say is that healthy habits don't happen in perfect conditions. They happen in real life. And I think all three of us are a testament to that. Start small and build from there.
Yeah, and I would just say, I like this little phrase, smart convenience over perfection, okay? Control the things that you can control and just realize that overcommitment ultimately leads to burnout every time. So protect your self-care. It is essential and it's not selfish.
Yeah, and I think it's just, taking one thing at a time. Like if there's something that you want to improve upon, whether it's exercise, nutrition, sleep, try to pick that one thing and try to make a plan going forward to help with that success.
Yep. And it's not an all or nothing.
No.
Right? So mindset matters. Give yourself some grace. Focus on the progress that you've made. Kim had touched on it. Lindsay had touched on it. It's not about perfection. And finally, find ways to make this work for you. We are all different. We're all going to integrate healthy habits in a different way. Link it to something that you're already doing, but build it into your life. Don't try to create a second set of circumstances, because it won't work. Before we wrap up, for those that are listening, I would challenge you, along with, Lindsay had already touched on it. What's one healthy habit that you can start incorporating this week? And maybe it's as small as drinking a glass of water each day or taking a short walk, setting a consistent bedtime, whatever it is. Take one action towards creating a healthy routine. Just start from there. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Integrative Edge this week. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a friend. Don't forget to leave us a review. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.